Hello, welcome back to Knitting Nicely. In this video, we're going to learn how to do the bubble stitch.
Okay, so this is how I do the bubble stitch for my little Leo the Lamb newborn costume. And I've already finished doing all of the rows for the diaper cover, as you can see here. And I'm on the last bubble stitch row, and I thought I'd make this little video to show you how I do a bubble stitch. So when you make yours, it's super easy and clear how to do one. So I'm going to knit for 1, 2, 3, 4, and now here's where I do the K4B, which means knit 4 below. So I need to count down from my needle 4 stitches, and then I'm going to be knitting into that 4th stitch below my needle. Okay, so here is the first stitch that's on my needle, and I'm going to count 4 below. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the stitch that I'm going to be inserting my right needle into. So I'm going to just poke it through, and then I'm going to pull up a loop of thread, or yarn, excuse me, onto my right needle. Now I need to get rid of this stitch because that's the line of stitches going up, and I don't need that stitch anymore, so I'm just going to let that drop right off. Now you're going to notice that it's going to leave a lot of loose stitches back here. Some people, when they do the bubble stitch, like to pull that out all the way down to the stitch that they have done. I don't, I just leave it, and it'll eventually work its way out. If you can see the back of my work, all of these are done that way, and down here you can see some of them have already worked their way out. So it's just a step that I just kind of skip and allow it to happen on its own. Make sure that when you're ready to make your next knit 3 stitches, that you pull this yarn so that it's the same tension as all of your other stitches. You don't want to pull that loop loose like this, because then that will not create this scrunching of the fabric, and you won't get a little bubble for your bubble stitch. So you do want to make sure that this new stitch you pulled, that K4B stitch, you need to make sure that that stitch is nice and snug on your right needle, just like all your other stitches. Okay, so let's do it again. So this is your knit 3 between your knit 4B. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm ready to do another bubble stitch, which is that K4B, knit 4 below. So I'm going to count my stitches. So that's the one on the needle. Count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the stitch that I'm going to poke my right needle into. Then I'm going to pull up a loop and make sure it's nice and snug, just like all my other stitches. Leave this one off the needle. Just let it drop off the needle. And go ahead and knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Ready for a K4B again. So count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull up a loop. Knit 3. Oops, take that one off. Make sure you take that one off in between. 1, 2, 3. If you don't take that one off, then you're going to end up with too many stitches on your row. So here I am at a K4B again. And another thing that I do as I'm knitting, just to check to make sure that I haven't forgotten to take that K4B stitch off, is I make sure that my next K4B is lining up right in the middle of the last bubble that I did. So you can see these stitches here. There's like 3 rows of stitches here. I make sure that my next K4B is right in the middle. Let me get a pointer here. That next K4B is lining up right in the middle of that last bubble that I did. Okay, just kind of a visual check that I do. So let's do a K4B together one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Poke the needle in, pull up a loop, and drop it off. 1, 2, 3. And that's how I get these little bubbles.
Here's a photo of the cute little Leo the Lamb costume that I was making in this video. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this as I teach you how to do different stitches, please like and subscribe. Happy knitting!